Use that much this year?
Haven't had much need of it yet.
Looks like we got ourselves a bad man right here.
All right. Well, I am Grant from Screen Rant. It is very nice to see you again, Kevin, and to talk about Horizon. This is really quite the bold and expansive take on the Western genre, and I love what you've set up so far. Now, I know that when you first envisioned this, it was a single film, and now you have a four movie plan for it. When did it start to really expand beyond just a single story into this?
Yeah, it started in 1988. Tried to make the single movie in 2003. Wasn't able to do it over some money issues. I went on with my career, but I couldn't get the story out of my head. In 2012, I started to look at the story as it was conventional, and I don't mean conventional in a bad way, but it was a two guys in a town. Started to think, what if we dealt with the idea? I don't know why these towns in every Western are already there. How'd they get there? What was the battle? What was the reality? Because people just didn't give up these places in America, and really started to think about that. And I thought, what if we, along with John Barrett, if we could re-engineer the characters in '88, because I liked him. Hayes, I liked the character. I named my son after him. So what we did was we began to re-engineer this story, and it kept expanding when you start at the beginning. We felt that women were really important, and every story, it runs through women. And I like stories to be fulfilling. I like them to have a narrative that I believe. I like to get to my gunfight, but I'm willing to go down these other rabbit holes and make those gunfights seem arbitrary, which violence was, random, which it was. And the great struggle between two cultures, one that was been here for thousands of years and the other that were coming out based on a piece of paper.
Well, I love that approach to it. I mean, I've talked to a few people now who have said the town itself is a character, and it truly does feel that way. And I am excited to see what comes next from it. So you talk about wanting a story to feel fulfilling, and I'd love to hear how challenging it was then to really find the perfect ending for each movie that felt conclusive while also still setting up the next installment.
Yeah, I didn't want to create a cliffhanger because I just think that that's not the right thing. What happens is two's done, I just saw it, and it's harder, and it gets harder for these people. It doesn't get easier. You know, this is a 200-year march across the country, 300 years, and people did it in inches. And so I take my time, and I do it through the story of these people. And so I'm going to get to my gunfight, but not at the expense of story, which I think can be just as compelling. And so it's important to me.
I couldn't agree more, and I like that you're building towards these epic gunfights that you have. I see I'm almost out of time, so before I let you go, one big question I did have was, you talk about the war between the two peoples, and I love how this first film shows both the brutality that was true of natives when dealing with American and people, or with immigrants, but also showing the more compassionate side of them. What was it like finding that balance in your story?
Well, that they just were so frustrated with so many people continuing to come, changing their way of life, and it just boiled over, and they had to be ferocious. And but they were fighting for a way of life. These other people out, the last battle that you see in the end of one, this scalp hunt, they're fighting for commerce. There's no heartbeat in those people, and those people existed out in the West as well. So you're seeing a lot of sides, but the confusion with how many people were coming, it was something that happened from sea to shining sea.
I will take from you until you are wiped clean from this land. I'm just saying that's something you might want to keep in mind.